This gypsy jazz guitar was left in the trunk of a car for several hours where it cooked on a hot summer day. And the owner of this guitar had purchased it knowing that there was a headstock repair that had been done previously. And it's a nasty break. It's the vertical kind of break where you don't have a whole lot of surface area to glue between the headstock and the neck. So what happened while it was cooking in the car trunk is that the string tension combined with the softening glue in the joint, because it was so hot in that trunk, caused the joint to fail. So the headstock went perfectly straight and the repair pulled apart. So now there's this nasty gap between the headstock and the neck, and the guitar is unplayable. So how hot does it get in our cars? Well, I put a temperature gauge in my car, which has a big open space. There's no closed-in trunk. And on a warm summer day, with the car sitting in the sun, within an hour and a half, the inside temperature of my car went to over 117, 118 degrees. What surprised me, though, was the humidity drop. I would have thought the humidity would have gone up inside the car. It was just the reverse. The humidity went down to 14%. So if you leave an instrument in a hot car, you get a double whammy. You got the extra heat, which can start cooking glue joints and making things fall apart, but the low humidity just very quickly sucks the moisture out of your guitar, which is probably just as bad. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my digital temperature controller connected to a silicone heating blanket, and I'm using a relatively low temperature of about 135, 140, 142 to heat this joint up, approximating what happened in the trunk of that car when this thing came apart. We've got a nice relaxed glue joint. So the next step is to unplug this heat and get some glue in the joint. This gypsy jazz guitar had a break that's nearly vertical that is right underneath the nut. And so I've got two carbon fiber rods that were inserted to reinforce it. They're kind of close to the fingerboard side of the break, and then we got new glue in there. And I was concerned that the break would start to open up even with all that reinforcement, and after a couple of days of being strung up, in fact, it started to pull apart again. So we need to make this repair even stronger. So what you do in a situation like that, when you don't have a whole lot of gluing surfaces, you inlay a spline of some kind across the break in the neck to reinforce it so it doesn't pull apart again. It's a little piece of wood that I've cut out that looks like a butterfly or a bow tie. And what's cool about this is not only is it going to strengthen it at the inlay spot or across the break, but because of its shape, it creates a wedge that really makes the joint strong and will prevent the neck from pulling apart. And now the next step is to begin I've got the recess routed for the bow tie or butterfly wedge. So I've got the butterfly inlay glued into the neck right across the headstock break. So it's going to be very strong, and now I'm using a microplane to very carefully bring this filler butterfly inlay down to the level of the neck so I can sand it smooth and finish it. Some of you may recognize this. These are called microplanes, and they're very sharp and very accurate, and they take off wood very cleanly, but a lot of you may use these in the kitchen thinking that they're for kitchen use because you use these on lemons and limes to create lemon, orange, or lime zest. Well, they actually started life first in the cabinet shop or the lutherie shop for what I'm using it for right now.
Well, this 60-year-old Demaro Gypsy Jazz guitar is ready to go home. It required quite an extensive job on this broken headstock that had come apart from a previous repair. 2 carbon fiber rods, regluing the separated brake, and then finally inlaying a butterfly inlay to strengthen the joint so that it has no danger of coming apart. So, don't leave your car in the driveway on a hot or cold day with a guitar in it. Or to rephrase that a little different, don't put your guitar any place you wouldn't be comfortable for a couple of hours, because it's as hard on the guitar as it would be on you. And I'm going to just play out, show you a few more pics from the repair, and as always, keep on picking!